Hi y'all, I'm Allison. Just Spin It is back for another bonus round. We're going to be playing for two of my viewers today, Jennifer Bourgard and Amanda from the Reading and Writing Life. And she also has a second channel, Amanda Plays Sims. So they've both asked me to play my game and pick some books for them. And they both want 6 spins each. So I am going to be recommending a lot of books today. We're going to test my little brain up here and see if I can come up with 18 different books. So considering there's going to be that many, I'm going to try to keep my descriptions brief. Try, because if you've been around, you know, I like to ramble a little bit. So let's get right into it. We're going to start out with Jennifer, because I got her email first. So she asked me to choose books from her library. She gave me her link for Goodreads, so I'll be rifling through there, seeing what I can come up with to match the prompts, and to also give a suggestion from my own books. So we'll have 2 books for each prompt if all goes well. And she's hoping for 6. But of course, the game may have its own agenda. We will find out. All right, Jen, are you ready for your first spin? I hope the board's going to be nice to you. Oh, and I did it again. We got a blank spot. So let's fill that in first, and then we'll start spinning. Okay, we're going to put this purple one, text only on cover. It's going on here. One last thing, I'm sure you're going to see some fluctuation in lighting and everything because I'm going to be filming this in bits and pieces because this is going to be a lot for my brain to process. Okay, Jen, are you ready for that first spin? Let's find out what it's going to be. Number 12. You get a purple and small town. I love books with small town. Okay, if I can think of one off the top of my head, I'm going to grab it. And I do. From my library, I'm going to go with Midnight at the Blackbird Cafe by Heather Weber. I absolutely loved this book, and I bet you would too. We've got a small southern town down in Alabama, and Anne returns down there because her granny passed away, and in her will left the Blackbird Cafe to her granddaughter, who is supposed to live there for a year running the cafe to gain her full inheritance. And we've got some magical realism. There's something special about these pies. The cafe is like the center of this small town, and I absolutely loved this book. So this is the one from my library, and I will dig and see what I can find from yours. Okay, you actually had a couple for small town, which is awesome. So I'm going to go with Flying Solo by Linda Holmes. I love this cover. It looks so fun. So Lori's going to return to her hometown in Maine to take care of the estate of her great aunt, Dot. And she finds a duck, I guess a wooden duck, in a chest, along with a letter saying, "When all else fails, remember the ducks, darling." So I don't know, this duck might turn out to be worth some value, and apparently there is going to be a mystery. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I want to know if you end up reading this one and if it was good, because I love cozy mysteries, and I would bet this is a cozy. Okay, let's put up this yellow one. One solid color on cover. The cover ones are good when I'm playing for other people, because then I don't have to dig as deep in all the books. Makes it a little easier. Okay, Jen, are you ready for your second spin? Number 6. You get orange. Uh-oh. Big book, over 500 pages. You said you do like to read a lot. Okay, I hope big books don't intimidate you. I will dig and see what we can come up with for this. You've got some good options. In fact, the 2 that I found, we overlap on. So, from both of our libraries, A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I absolutely love this series. It's All Souls trilogy. But there was a companion novel, one of the side characters, for book 4. So we have academia, history, a forbidden romance. Diana Bishop, she's a witch who is shunning her magical abilities. She comes from a very long line of witches. She is researching at the Bodleian Library at Oxford, accidentally calls up an ancient manuscript. So what Diana doesn't know is this manuscript has been missing for hundreds of years. And once it's called up, it attracts the attention of the entire supernatural world, including Matthew, a geneticist who's a vampire yoga instructor, and these two are brought together. I love this trilogy. And there is going to be a 5th book coming out, I believe, this summer. I don't know if it's part 2 of the spin-off or if we're going back to the original trilogy. Let me look. Blackbird Oracle is about Diana and Matthew, and it comes out in July. So this is the perfect time to start this trilogy, which is now going to be 4 books. Anyway, Discovery of Witches. Love it. I've read it multiple times, the entire series. Well, except the spin-off. Now, to give you another option, because that one, by the way, I think is 576 pages. So one more option for you, again, from both of our libraries. Aragon by Christopher Paolini. This one, we have coming of age, a dragon, and a quest, and a whole bunch of adventure. I really enjoy this series as well. I haven't read this one in quite a long time, and I do want to get back to it. Because, speaking of old series being revived, there is a new one in the Inheritance cycle. I think it came out at the end of last year, and that is Murtaugh. So, again, worth going back and revisiting this trilogy, which will now be 4 books deep. So the choice is yours on which one you would prefer to read. Just because I talked more about A Discovery Witches doesn't mean that Aragon isn't just as good. It's just I think more people are familiar with this one. Moving right along, let's replace that with this orange one. Ready, Set, Go has competition or game. One of my absolute all-time favorite tropes. Can't get enough books with games in them. Okay, are you ready? Number 4. And we get a random color. These are fun. Let me pull it up on my computer, screen record for you, and find out what color I'll be digging for. Okay, even though this is a really pretty shade of red, let's refresh the screen and find out what color we are going to be looking for. Okay, not much of a change. Pure orange. Okay, hopefully I can find something. I'm sure I can. Let me go look. Okay, I feel like this is like an all-day event. Actually, it kind of is, because now it's nighttime. We got my flickering light bulb fixed. Yay! No more lighting issues. So, hi. Oh, let me see if I can remember where I was. Random color. That's where we were. Okay, so a true orange from my library. I thought I would throw a sci-fi in the mix with The Martian by Andy Weir. I absolutely loved this book. It was so fun. It does have some science and some math, but I never felt left behind by it, and I am not mathematically inclined at all, and I even appreciated the technical side of this book. But there is a lot more humor in it than I had dreamed possible. It's very upbeat, especially when you consider our main guy is left stranded on Mars all by himself, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to get out of there. Highly recommend this book if you've never read it. And I would say that we've got true orange in here. So there's one from my library. From yours, we've got Undead and Unappreciated. This is part 3 in the Undead series. While most women would love being a royalty, Betsy Taylor has found that being a vampire queen has more problems than perks. Except she's always awake to make it to the Midnight Madness sale. So all the employees at her nightclub have been giving her grief just because she killed their boss. But Betsy's life takes an interesting turn when she's at a shower for her wicked stepmother because she finds out she has a half sister who is the daughter of the devil, who's destined to rule the world. So there you go. You can continue on that series. And I'm going to have to check out the first book for that one because that sounds hilarious and right up my alley. Okay, let's continue on. Okay, let's replace that with Book of the Month. This is a fun one. Okay, so we take the first 4 letters of the month and got to find it in the title. So that's going on the board. Let's see, I think we're up to spin 4 already. Number 11. Rick Riordan. This should be easy to do. In fact, I don't have to come back to this one because I am going to recommend you start the 39 Clues series. I absolutely love this middle grade series. It is so fun as a competition. This big family is trying to basically solve like this scavenger hunt that takes them all over the world to gain the secret behind their family's power. They give up $1 million each to join this hunt. And I think it's like 10 books deep, and then we've got some spin-offs. Each book is written by a different author, and Rick Riordan writes the first one. This one is set in the catacombs of Paris, I believe. Such a fun series. So, Riordan, start the 39 Clues, or reread it if you've already read them. As an alternative for Riordan, if you don't have Percy Jackson, which I didn't see any of those, I'm going to give you another long middle grade series instead that you can potentially choose. And I chose Artemis Fowl by Ian Colfer. At least I'm assuming that's how you say his name. I've heard of this, but never bothered to actually read what it's about. And now I want to read these because we have a 12-year-old Artemis. He's a millionaire, a genius, and a criminal mastermind. But even Artemis doesn't know what he's getting into when he kidnaps Captain Holly Short of the Leprechaun unit. It's a fairy, but these aren't the fairies of bedtime stories. They're dangerous. So this is supposed to be full of unexpected surprises and twists. So you've got 39 Clues, which is so much fun, or Artemis Fowl, which sounds just as entertaining. So there are your choices. In place of that, we will put up World War I. Okay, it's your 5th spin, Jen. Number 16. Isn't that the one we put up at the very beginning? Yes, text only on cover. Again, this will make it for easy scrolling. I'll have to do that and see what I can come up with. Those are usually like your thriller and mystery titles, which are awesome. Okay, we need to replace that. So let's replace that one with a green one, and we have Inherited. Those are books that I have from my grandparents. So it's anything that kind of a family member gave to you. All right, I've run into some trouble. We're going to respin for Inherited because I have a feeling that my grandparents' old books aren't going to appeal to you. And I didn't see much historical fiction on your TBR anyway. So let's go ahead and respin and replace that prompt. I think that's okay. First, we have to replace the last one from Amanda's game because we're just doing everything in all sorts of wonky order. Just bear with me today. Okay, so we are going to put Owl Crate up on number 18. Looks like my board is turning all yellow. Okay, are you ready, Jen? Thought we were going to get a star, but it's number 3. The star would come into play if it's stuck between 2 numbers. Silhouette on cover. This is something I can work with because I can just look through all your covers. Okay, now we're back in the game. I'm going to call this a silhouette. I think it's a silhouette. You can't see any detail on her. maybe a tiny bit, but I think it works. So this is The Recovery Agent by Janet Ivanovich. I've read it. My mom read it. We both really enjoyed it. As a recovery agent, it's Gabriella's job to find missing items, objects, lost treasures. Gabriella is sent to the jungles of Peru to look for the Seal of Solomon and the treasures of Lima. And it's got a huge problem attached to it. Namely, her ex-husband, Rafer. Because Rafer is the one who has the map that will possibly point them to where these lost treasures are. So they're going to have to team up. I really enjoyed this, and I'm looking for part 2 to come out. So this is like an adventure, kind of Indiana Jones, Romance in the Stone type of book. So you might want to check this one out. From your library, you have one of the series that I absolutely love, and that is Lockwood & Co. The first one, The Screaming Staircase, we've got a silhouette. So we lucked out because my version of the book, I've got the UK version, I believe. It's not a silhouette. Yours counts, and that's all we need. So I love this series. I am up to book 5, which is the last one, and I've been kind of putting it off because I don't want it to end. Such an awesome series. It's spooky. It's high-pack action. There's tons of humor, and the characters are just incredible. I love every single one of them. High stakes, compelling story, a bit of a mystery, and you'll be on the edge of your seat. Read Lockwood & Co. The Screaming Staircase. Love it. Let's replace that with Person on Cover. Yay. It's passed along. Okay, is this your last spin? Okay, Jen, it looks like the board is going to be nice to you. Here's your last spin. Let's see what it's going to be. Number 11, we just did that. Okay, World War I. This one might be tricky. If I can't find anything, I reserve the right to come back and respin. Because I know when I had this in my game a while back, I had an obvious gap in my library. And I kind of meant to put this one aside. So, we'll see what happens. Okay, as I mentioned a little bit ago, I don't think you're very much into historical fiction. So we are going to replace the World War I prompt as well. So Jen, you get one last spin. Are you ready? Number 12. And it is one solid color on cover. All of the cover ones are popping up. Okay, let me see what I can find. So from my library, I'm going to recommend one of my favorite authors, Jessie Q. Sutanto. And this is a YA mystery thriller, The Obsession. So boy meets girl, boy stalks girl, girl gets revenge. Yep, we've got high school students. So Logan thinks that he and Delilah are meant to be. Delilah doesn't know who Logan is. Logan believes no one knows Delilah like he does. He makes sure of it by hearing everything he can, watching her through a hidden camera. Some might call him a stalker. Logan prefers to be called romantic. Delilah is keeping secrets, though, deadly ones. So there's much more to her than meets the eye. I really enjoyed this. It's a classic love story, except someone might end up dead. So if you like YA thrillers and stalker books, then definitely check out The Obsession. Such a good time. I do have a second one in this called The New Girl, and it's set at the same high school, but we have different characters, and I'm hoping to get to that one soon. So from your library, we're going with this practically all yellow cover, The Hunting Party. This one's by Lucy Foley, and we have a group of old college friends. They end up snowed in at a hunting lodge, and then murder and mayhem ensue. So this one is going to be like a mystery thriller. So all of them are friends, and one of them is a suspect. They get together on December 30th, and 2 days later, one of them is dead. And to top it off, there's a horrific blizzard out there, so they can't leave this locked room. So Locked Room Murder Mystery, and I'm going to have to add this one to my list because I love those. All right, Jennifer, I did it. I got through all 12 of your books. I hope you have some in here that sound really intriguing and that you want to read this month. You'll have to let me know which ones you end up choosing. And feel free to go completely away from any of these recommendations because that's all they are. They're recommendations. You can put whatever book you want with your prompts. But let's move on and see what we've got up our sleeve for Amanda. Okay, moving right along. Amanda, are you ready for your turn? We're doing 6 spins for you as well, and I will be digging through your Storygraph books. Now, this time I'm getting off a little easier. I only have to come up with a book from Amanda's to be read pile, and if I do have something that just screams at me from my own books, I'll throw that in there as an extra. All right, Amanda, are you ready? Let's get your first spin. After we replace. There's so many steps to remember. Okay, let's put up PC and K cast. I don't know if I mentioned at the very beginning, but Amanda plays a TBR game on her channel every week. And what she's going to do is, with her Just Spin It list, she's going to go ahead and make a video of reading those books. So everybody be sure to check over with her channel later on to see how she does with the books that we end up coming up with for her today. Okay, Amanda, are you ready for your first one? Number 8. How funny is this? 39 clues. Okay, easy peasy. I just described that one for Jennifer. So here it is. I'm not going to tell you what it's about again. But in case middle grade isn't necessarily your thing and that doesn't appeal to you, then feel free to substitute any long series that you have and just pick up where you are in that series. So there's kind of an option for you. Okay, Amanda, I think I found an alternative for you for 39 clues. I looked for another series that's quite extensive. I found Royal Spyness by Rhys Bowen, and I think you're on number 14, or at least you haven't read number 14. So you can pick wherever you are in that series and continue on. But this one was The Last Mrs. Summers. Again, this is number 14 in the series. Okay, so let me see if I can get this. Georgie's best friend, Belinda, inherits a spooky old house that's uninhabitable. So they end up going to stay at Rose's house, who Belinda doesn't like, but they've got nowhere else to go. And Rose is newly married, and she thinks that her husband, who Belinda actually had a crush on back in the day, may have killed his first wife. So she asked Belinda and Georgie to keep an eye on the husband, and somebody ends up dead, and Belinda ends up being the suspect. I think I did it. So that sounds fun. These are mysteries, old-fashioned, and set in isolated setting, reminiscent of an Agatha Christie. And I know I've read, at least listened to, I think it was like a prequel to the series as a free audio, and I loved it. I've been meaning to get back into it, so this reminded me to put them back on my list. So instead of doing 39 clues, if you would like, pick up wherever you are in Royal Spyness, and I think I'm going to have to dive into this series as well. Okay, let's replace that with a mystery. Looks like orange has overtaken our board. Okay, Amanda, are you ready for your second spin? We're going down to the bottom. Look at this purple, a TBR vet, something that has been sitting on your TBR for ages and you just haven't gotten to it. All right, for this one, I went to the filters on a Storygraph and played with them a little bit. And I had them list everything from earliest added instead of latest added. So judging by that, I'm calling those your TBR vets, the ones that were entered first into Storygraph. however long ago you joined the site. And we both have a book in common, The 10,000 Doors of January. I haven't read this one yet either, so we've probably had it about the same time. So here's your chance to get it read. Okay, so as the ward of the wealthy Mr. Locke, January Scalar feels little different from the artifacts that decorate his sprawling mansion, carefully maintained, largely ignored, and utterly out of place. But when she finds a strange book, one that tells a tale of secret doors, of love, adventure, and danger, for the first time, January realizes that she can escape her story and sneak into someone else's. So, book about books, and I assume portals. So here's your chance to finally get this one read. I need to as well. I still love this cover. It's so gorgeous. All right, let's replace that with Grafton. You're getting, all of my authors are going on the board. Okay, this would be Sue Grafton. Okay, are you ready, Amanda? We're on your third spin. Number 9. And we get a 1, 2, 3, a number in the title. This will be a fun one to fill. Okay, how's this for a number in the title? The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I have never read any of his books, and I need to do that. But this one looks really good. It's going to be a gothic thriller. So this one is about a young caregiver who was assigned to work for a woman who was accused of a Lizzie Borden-style massacre decades earlier. So the Hope family murders shook the small town in Maine back in 1929, and that night turned into a schoolyard chant. At 17, Lenora Hope hung her sister with a rope, stabbed her father with a knife, took her mother's happy life. It wasn't me, Lenora said, but she's the only one not dead. Yeah. So we've got another isolated setting, and all sorts of trouble happened long time ago. Ooh, okay, so our caretaker, Kit. Turns out Lenora is now in her 70s, and she's been struck mute by a few strokes that she's had. So the only way she can communicate is through an old typewriter. And she wants to tell Kit what happened all those years ago. She's going to type everything on the typewriter. I need this book, because I just got goosebumps. That sounds so creepy. Okay, so there you go. Number and title, the only one left. And I'm not going to read anymore because I want to get this one and I want to go blind. So, yeah. I mean, I don't want to go blind. I want to go into the book not knowing what's going to happen. So, yeah. Let's replace that with foil on cover. By the way, if anybody else would like me to play my game for them in a future month, all the information that I need is down in the description box below. If you have any questions about that, feel free to ask, and I would be more than happy to answer. Okay, let's move on to your 4th spin, Amanda. These are going quick. Only because I haven't stopped to look for books yet. Number 13. Right smack in the middle. Epistolary. Okay, so any book with like journal entries, a diary, letters, all of that. I love epistolary books. Okay, we seem to have a little theme with the typewriter, because here we've got some typewriter keys on the cover. I love this cover. Dear Mrs. Bird. So this time we've got World War II. We're in London, and our main character, Emmy, is doing her part helping out the war effort by working as a telephone operator, and she sees an advertisement looking for help at the London Evening Chronicle, and she's hoping that her dream will come true. She wants to become a lady war correspondent, but she ends up becoming assistant to someone who writes an advice column. So she's disappointed, but a job is a job, so she takes it. So now her boss, Mrs. Bird, has made it clear no unpleasant letters will be answered. And Emmy doesn't agree with that, so she starts writing back to some of them on the sly without it being known, and things go from there. And this one is actually supposed to be quite humorous. So it's supposed to be lighthearted, heartwarming, and about friendships and resilience during a very hard time. So again, this is another one. In fact, I've marked this one as wish list. So yeah, hopefully you'll see me talking about it on my channel one day. Okay, let's move on. In a place of that one, we're going to have this yellow, if I can get it, and a children's book. Get a children's classic. It's a little bit of nostalgia. Okay, we're on our fifth spin, Amanda. Number 9. Is that what we just... No, I think we just did. Okay, foil on cover. Hopefully I'll be able to tell. This one might be a little bit harder. It'd be easier in my library. Hopefully it'll be obvious while scrolling through. We will find out. Okay, this one is hard to know for sure unless I own the book myself. And I didn't see any that jumped out at me. So I chose The Thorns Remain by J.J.A. Harwood. And I would bet that's foiling. If not, it definitely looks like it should be. So I feel pretty confident in offering up this one. Love the cover. And this one is going to be like a fairy tale vibe. It's a dark romance with fae magic set in the mystical Scottish Highlands. What more do you need? I forgot where I was. My brain is mush. Okay, this one we've got the Lord of the Fae, and we've got Moira. It's 1919 in Scotland. She is out in the forest with her friends. They're gonna have a one last night of fun out in the forest before everybody goes their ways. Her fiance, I guess, died during the war and won't be coming back. The next thing she knows, she's out there all alone, but she's wearing the Medal of Honor from her fiance, which is made of iron, which protects her from Fae magic. Because we've also got the Lord of the Fae, who is also feeling all alone and forgotten, because I guess the Fae, their magic is dwindling because not as many people believe in them anymore. And I think we're going to kind of have a romance between the two. So there's that one. And this one, I believe, is supposed to be like a fairy tale vibe, which I love those. Okay. Let's see what we've got else. Let's see what else we've got. My brain is turning to mush. I'm sorry. This has been a very long day. Okay, and let's replace it with this green one or blue one. Dystopian. All right, Amanda, it's your last spin unless the board decides to toy with you a little bit. Let's find out. Number 18. A reread. Oh, it's a reread. I don't know what you need to reread or what you would like to. So I am going to leave this one strictly up to you. So whether you want to go back and reread an old favorite of yours, or maybe you need a refresher on one of the series that you're working on, whatever floats your boat, add it to your list as your reread. Wow, the game was nice to both of you. I'm surprised. I hope that doesn't mean it's going to be saving up all of its mischief for me for next month. I wouldn't be surprised. But next month, the flowers are going to go away because I will be bringing back the Easter edition and putting that one up a little bit early. It'll be the last week of March because Easter is going to be March 31st. So you can look for that at the end of the month. Like I said before, if you would like me to play my game for you, then all the information I need is down below in the description box. Or you can send me an email. I will have, and my email is down there as well. Jen and Amanda, I hope you had fun with your round of Just Spin It. It wasn't very dramatic today, but that's okay. I think it's just getting to know you. Be sure and let me know which books you end up reading for them. Feel free to go off the path. You don't have to read what I've chosen. These are suggestions. If you have a book that's screaming at you and you think it fits the prompt, then go for it. Pick that puppy up and give it a read. Okay, I will see y'all hopefully a day after tomorrow with my next TBR game, which will be The Sims. We will see if I can manage to pull it off and have it ready for y'all because I haven't started that. Okay, have a good one. Bye.